Sri Adi Shankara begins Viveka Chudamani with a shloka that puts everything in its perspective. He says, Durlabham Trayame Vaitad Daivanugraha Hetukam Manushyatvam Mumukshutvam Mahapurusha Samshrayaha. Viveka Chudamani is a text written by Sri Adi Shankara, and Viveka means discrimination, Chudamani means crest jewel. So it is a text which talks about discrimination in the best possible way. Or you can also say that it talks about the highest discrimination. Everything is discrimination. This is a man, this is a woman, this is a piece of wood, that is stone, this is bulb, that is fan. All this is discrimination only. But the highest discrimination is to know this is consciousness and this is matter. And that discrimination is what Adi Shankara talks about in Viveka Chudamani. A beautiful text. So this shloka says, these three things are very rare to attain. And if you attain this, consider it as the blessing, special blessing of God. What are these three things? Manushyatvam, to be born as a human being. Mumukshatvam, to develop desire to know the truth, to liberate oneself. And Mahapurusha Samshaya, the company of a realized one. Mahapurusha means not just a great one, a realized one. Finding these three things are the rarest of the blessings that anyone can get. How many blessings do we have? Let's count. Manushyatvam, I hope. All are human beings here, right? So Manushyatvam is taken care, check. Then Mumukshatvam, do we have desire to know the truth, or we are happy with our day-to-day life, that khana, pina, sona, marna life? No, we want to know the truth. And what is the truth? We want to know that we are divine. You have been telling we are divine. Scriptures are telling we are divine. Everybody tells here everybody is divine. Or I don't realize it. I want to realize it. I want to know that truth. A burning desire to know that truth is Mokshatvam, not an ordinary desire. If you know, it is fine. If you don't know, it's also okay. Not like that. A burning desire should be there to attain this. That is mumukshatvam. And then, now you have got human body, you have got the desire to know the truth, but somebody should tell you the truth, somebody should guide you how to achieve that truth. And who can teach you the truth? Only the one who knows the truth. How can anybody else tell you about anything that they have never experienced? So, a realized being alone, a great master alone can teach you the truth. So, if you find the company of the great master, this is the third blessings. So tell me how many blessings you have now. All three you have got. Can there be anybody more blessed than you? No. Because you are born as human being, you could have been anything, an insect, a bird, an animal, or even a human being in some remote corner far away from this place. Or even a human being who is not interested in mumukshatvam. So many possibilities. But you have got all things right. You have also got mumukshatvam, desire to know the truth. And you have to only intensify that desire. Make it a burning desire. As our in Tripura Rahasya, Tattatreya says, how should that desire be? Like somebody's desire to dump oneself or dunk in water whose hair has caught fire. So if your hair has caught fire, what are you interested in at that moment? You want some water to douse that fire on your head. Nothing else matters to you. Good food, nice bed to sleep, lot of money, nothing matters. First you want to get rid of that problem. That kind of burning desire is mumukshatvam. To know the truth, and unless you know the truth, you don't rest. And you need the company of great people who know that truth so that they can tell you the truth as it is. If somebody does not know the truth, they will go in circles. That's why the quality of a good teacher is he makes the most difficult subject easy. And the quality of a bad teacher is he makes the most easy subject also very difficult. We have plenty of them. People go for satsangs, and the teacher goes on and on. He gives quotes one after the other from the Upanishads, from the Gita, from everywhere. Everybody understood, great. And when you come out of satsang, what did you understand? I don't know what did I understand, but it was good. What was good? Shlokas were good, quotations were good, examples were good. What did you get out of it? Nothing. What is the use of such things? A knower of truth will always tell you the truth in the simplest way. I was telling somebody just a while ago, for the new age generation, the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha and things like that, the best definition of God is selfless love and spirituality is selfless service. And that appeals to all of them because it is the simplest way of understanding what God and spirituality is. I do not so much promote an organized, structured way of approaching this thing through a religious methodology. Yes, if you like it, so be it. But more importantly, let us know the essence of it. If you develop selfless love, you are God. Atta Brahma Samushnate, yesterday we heard from Kathopanishad. Then and there you become God when you develop desirelessness, which means you are completely selfless. That kind of selfless love is Godhood. And how does it function in the world, or how does it translate into day-to-day activities? It becomes selfless service. So anybody who is doing selfless service is nothing but God, or she is none other than God, because they are expressing God through all these acts. So that is the idea of Godhood, that is the idea of divinity. Anybody who does that will attain that. So either you start with selfless service, you attain selfless love, that is Godhood, or you develop selfless love for all, you will anyway do selfless service. So yesterday we also saw who is Brahma Vidya or Brahma Jnani or Sthita Prajna, the knower of the truth. What is his nature? How does he behave? What does he do? Arjuna asks Krishna. And Krishna talks about Sthita Prajna, whose consciousness is always steady. He doesn't swing with positives and negatives. He does not swing with happinesses and pleasures and pain and sorrow. He's always steady. Sthita, steady. Sthitadhi, his mind is always steady. And I told you, go and check how many of you have developed that Sthita Prajna nature. As for some time we can always develop. When nobody is coming and bothering us, we are all Sthita Prajnas, left to ourselves. But the moment we engage in an action or we interact with people, our Sthita Prajna gets tested, especially with those who really test our patience. So that is the idea of these people remain steady despite all that. So Arjuna wonders, do such people really exist? He is not able to understand Sri Krishna himself is a Sthita Prajna, though he looks like so engaged and so involved. He and emoting and expressing things just like ordinary humans, but is beyond that. Arjuna fails to notice that because Arjuna does not have that eye of the jeweler to identify the diamond in Krishna. So anyways, that is how Sthita Prajna, and what does he do? Is only and one and the most supermost qualities is desireless. He has no desire for himself. He has desire for the welfare of all, but no desire for oneself. And as I said, God's love should translate into service to all. If you are really love in your heart, then you will serve people. There is no two ways about it. So when we go back to Mundaka Upanishad and learn about who is the best among the knowers of God. So there are many knowers of God who are sitting in Himalayas also. Then there are knowers of God who are giving discourses. There are knowers of God who are doing worships in the temple. There are knowers of God who are reading scriptures all by themselves. Knowers of God do so many things. They all may be knowers of God. But who is the best among the knowers of God is the question the Rishi asks and answers himself in the Mundaka Upanishad. Another very beautiful Upanishad like Kathopanishad. Anyway, he says, Prano hi esha sarva bhuter vibhati vijanan vidwan bhavate nativadi atma krida atmarati kriyavan esha brahmavidam varishtaha. Very beautiful poetry. He says, Prano hi esha sarva bhuter vibhati. Everything is filled with that conscious life force, not dead matter. Everything is conscious. Prana. Everything is that. Everything is expression of that consciousness, that energy which is born of that consciousness. The one who sees that, such a person becomes a man of few words. In the sense, he does not need to engage with the world unnecessarily. Why? Because he is always immersed in that ultimate feeling of seeing oneness and divinity in everything. It is so overwhelming that it stupefies you into silence. You don't feel the need to say or act or engage unnecessarily. Necessary engagements, actions, speech is good. Some people are there who suddenly decide to do Mauna Vratam. And I tell you, that is hell, all hell breaks loose for the neighbors. Because they will not say a thing properly. Why? Prano hi esha sarva bhuteri bhavate nativadi. I don't speak at all. But they are not realizing the oneness at all. Just forcing themselves into Maunavratam. They'll write cheats in handwritings worse than doctors' prescriptions. Nobody can read. Or then they make all the sign languages, damsharats. Nobody can understand what they're saying. And what could have been done in a small one sentence, they take 10 minutes to do that, and that too all ulta pulta, nothing will be straight, whatever. It's harassment for the people around. But spiritual austerities, no good. But these people also speak less, nativadi, na ativadi. They are vadis, but not ativadis. They speak, but not unnecessarily. Why? Because there is no necessity to why should you speak in a way which is not necessary? So they do basically, when you can control your tongue, you can control all the senses. So they have good control over their senses. That is what Nativadi means. When they want, they engage the senses in the activities of the world. When they don't want, they withdraw it. And our Bhagavad Gita gives the example of tortoise. Yata kurma. Kurma is the tortoise. What is that? Samharate. It withdraws all its limbs. At the sight of danger, it withdraws. And whenever it wants, it brings it out again and walks. Likewise, these people are so controlled, so restrained, that they can bring out the senses, use it for the welfare of all and take it back. And not unnecessarily engage with the world and its ways. That is what is Nativadi means. The one who speaks less, has control over the tongue, can control all the other organs and senses. That is the idea. So such a person is in perfect control of oneself. He is not being pushed and pulled by the senses and the instincts and the desires. He is completely steady. He knows when he wants to open his mouth and speak, when he wants to close. What he wants to see, what he does not want to see. What he wants to taste, what he does not want to taste. What he wants to touch, what he does not want to touch. What he wants to hear, what he does not want to hear, is in perfect control. That such a person is a Brahma Vidya. That is one thing we learn. Then second thing, what do they do after attaining Brahma Vidya? Many people ask me, so what happens after you attain that? What changes? What becomes different? And then the sloka says, Atma Krida Atmarati Kriyavan. Atma Krida Atmarati Kriyavan. Atma Krida. They are playing within themselves. Why? Because they are happy within themselves. I said, no, Atmanyeva Atmanatushta. Like a child in the cradle. He is happy entertaining himself with anything and enjoying, laughing, smiling to himself. Doesn't need anybody else to entertain. Like that, they are happy within themselves. It doesn't mean that they are always smiling like mad people, lunatics and walking around. No, they are smiling within. They don't want to smile outside. By forcing yourself to smile, you don't become Atma Krida or Atmarati. So idea is that within themselves, when they close their eyes, they are enjoying themselves. They open their eyes, they see everything as the same divinity. Again, they are Atmarati. They are completely immersed in that thought. They see everything and everyone as divine. That is their vision. So after having attained that vision, open your eyes, enjoy divinity outside. Close your eyes, enjoy divinity within. Then what do they do all the time in their life? Kriyavan, they are very active people. Generally we will think a spiritual person who doesn't speak much, quite silent, does not engage much, does not do much activity. No, they are super active people, Kriyavan. But what are they busy doing? The question is, what are they busy doing? They are busy serving all. They are busy working for the welfare of all. Loka sangrahame. For the sake of benefit of all, they work. There is no other agenda, no motive, no other idea why they engage in anything. Whenever they engage with the world, they only do it for the welfare of all. And when they are done with it, they withdraw themselves like a tortoise withdraws all its limbs. That kind of perfect control they have on themselves and their senses. That is the quality of the best of the knowers of Brahman, who not only enjoy the divinity within, who not only enjoy the divinity without, but they are also very active. So somebody asked me, what happens once you become Brahma Jnani, Brahma Vidya? I said, all these happen. Schools happen, hospitals happen, Annapurna happens, yajnas happen, discourses happen. All this will happen when you become a Brahma Jnani. Brahma Jnani does not mean sit in quiet corner. Nobody can see you, nobody can touch you, nobody will ever hear you again in life. Not like that. So these are the best of the Brahma Vidyas, our Upanishads say, who know the truth within, but externally they are completely involved in the welfare of all. Otherwise, what do you do with 24 hours God has given you? What do you do? What does God want? He want you to be always engaged in meditative, contemplative thoughts on Him. At the same time, your limbs, organs of action should be engaged in the service of all. This is what I said. Dashara means conquest of all the 10. What are these 10? Pancha Jnanendriyas and Pancha Karmendriyas are there. 5 basic things that internal organs we call it, Jnanendriyas. What are the Pancha Jnanendriyas? Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. They are the 5 things that we experience through our internal senses. What? Shabda, sound. Sparsha, touch. Rupa, sight. Rasa, taste. Gandha, smell. These are the 5 things we experience through our Gyanendriyas. And what is the Karmendriyas? Vak, Pani, Padam, Pastha, Upayuhu. These are the organs of action. What are the organs of action? Vak, tongue, with which you speak. Pani, hands, with which you work. Padam, the locomotive organ which takes you around. Then Pastha and Payuhu, the organs of excretion and organs of reproduction. These are the organs that we use to engage with the world. We speak, we see, we touch, taste, smell, that is the internal and the external organs of action. All these things together, 10 of these, make us engage with the world. And if we don't have control over these 10, then we will hear unnecessarily, talk unnecessarily, touch unnecessarily, speak unnecessarily, smell unnecessarily, hear unnecessarily, and do all kinds of things unnecessarily. This is what a Brahma Vidya does not do. This is what you first must know. So if you are getting anywhere closer to Brahma Vidya, the first symptoms are you are developing some kind of a control over all your organs and senses. That is the first thing you'll say. When you choose, you engage. When you choose not to, you can withdraw. That ability. I am not saying you don't engage at all. Some people think like they run away from the society into forest thinking that that is the best way to preserve their Brahmagyana. No, that is not the best way to preserve. In fact, that is not even a way to preserve Brahmagyana. Because why, if you are a Brahmagyani, where is the fear of the world to a Brahmagyani? Let any temptation come. Let any distraction come. What is the problem of a Brahmagyani? He is transformed. He is an irreversible process. So how can you go back and again get tempted? If you are getting tempted again, means you are not a Brahmagyani. You are a Brahmagyani who thinks he is a Brahmagyani. A story was there. In a village, everybody was saying that they are all Brahmagyanis. So one guru came to that village and he said, what is this? Everybody claims to be Brahmagyani over here. He said, yes, we are all Brahmagyanis. We have read Upanishads, we have listened to discourses, Bhagavad Gita, Kathopanishad, name it. We know it by rote. We are all Brahmagyanis. So Guruji thought this is very strange. A nice city, everybody is Brahmagyani. So he thought, let me test. And then they found out that the king was not keeping too well. So this Guruji said that I know some mantra vidya and all that. I will go and cure the king. Please take me to him. So they took this man to the king. He saw the king. He said, who are you? King also said, I am also Brahmagyani. But you know, my leg is paining a little bit. So I said, what do you want to do? Please cure me of this. He said, okay, let me see what I can do. Then he thought and said to King, this can be cured. I have to prepare a special medicine with ½ pound flesh from any Brahmagyani's thigh. Just get me ½ pound flesh and I will prepare the medicine and feed you. And then king said, no problem, everybody is Brahmagyani. Ask anybody for that ½ pound of flesh. Immediately everybody said, no, I am not a Brahmagyani. I am not a Brahmagyani. So there are Brahmagyanis. Read up a few scriptures for 2 days, practice some meditation. Suddenly you feel you have all control over everything. And suddenly you start floating in the air. Next day something happens, crash back into your old ways. So I am not very fond of these 10-day meditation workshops where you go wear organic clothing, eat organic food, you cut off from mobile phones and internet, don't do any work for those 10 days, behave as if everybody is a stranger to you, don't even smile at others. And then in 10 days you think some kind of aura has grown around you and come back floating and think you are some superior. But they are all, again, Mundakopanishad says, Andhe naiva niyamana yadhandaha. They are blind people leading the blind. Yes, it may be helpful to calm down, to purify, to relax and rejuvenate yourself. But that is all just spa service. Nothing more than that. The real Brahmagyani will have perfect control over his mind and senses, will choose to engage with the world or withdraw at his will, not because he is pushed into it by instincts and desires. And Ashtavakra describes beautifully. He says, Pravruttava nivruttava naiva dhirasya durgraha yadayat kartum ayati tatkritva tishtate sukham. Such a person is not having any problem in engaging in the world or withdrawing from the world. Whatever comes in his way, whatever comes by destiny, he does that and is happy. He has no qualms, no peculiarities, no insistence that I would do this and not do that, I will do like this only and not like that. Whatever is needed to be done, such a person does it and is happy. He has no problem with any of these engagements in the world as long as it is for the betterment of all, as long as it is destined, it is needed to be done. Such a person is beautiful. His existence is beautiful. We get engaged, then we find very difficult to withdraw. We get attached with our things. Why are you not coming out of it? No, you only told me to do good, so I'm continuing to do good. But now I am only telling, enough good you have done, come back. No. I have not done yet. Not because they want to do good, because they got stuck with that. Attachment has come. Now they cannot leave that position or whatever role. Nobody should get stuck to their chairs. That's my whole idea. If you don't have the capacity to get up from the chair, don't sit on the chair in the first place. That is very big problem with most of the people. If you don't have the nivrutti, ability to withdraw, don't even engage. That is the better way. But then can you survive in this world without engaging? No, you have to engage. So engage in action, but also develop the capacity to withdraw at once. And that is a spiritual virtue of Brahma Jnani. It's not possible for everybody. So if you are having these signs, this detachment, this desirelessness, this perfect control, then you know that you are sort of moving there. And that is the symptom, or that is the sign of a Brahma Jnani. So watch around and see how many people are like that. And then you know they're on their spiritual journey, and sooner or later they will reach that perfection. Maybe you will do it one day in a week now, or one week in a month. But over a period of time, by constant practice, one day will come when you will be able to attain that perfect state of equilibrium, equanimity. Engaging or withdrawing is not a problem. Again, Ashtavakra beautifully describes an existence of such a person as Shipta Samskaravatena. Cheshtate Shushka Paranavat, he says. Like a dry leaf floats in the wind. Appears that it is working, it is flying, but it is not flying, it is simply steady. It's the winds that are taking here and there. Likewise, such a person within has no doership, but still seems to be very busy and active and engaged with a lot of things because he surrendered himself to the divine will. And wherever divine will takes him, whatever divine will does with him, he is happy to do that. Without any, as I said, particularity or desire that I would be here only and not go there. Because the winds will take him wherever. Like that, divine will, destiny will take wherever, his samskaras will take him wherever. He will go. He has no problem. So that is why this is very important spiritual virtue. Once you attain Brahma Vidya or Brahma Jnana, this is how you should behave. No attachments, no desires. Perfectly in control and balance of within yourself and without also. You engage in the world at once when there is necessity. You withdraw at once if there is no necessity for it. And you go by what divine wills, not by your own particular desires and wills. Divine inspires you. That is why I said, connecting with your divinity is so important, because that is only when you can actually live like this, like that dry leaf, which can float at the will of the divine, at the will of the breeze. That kind of wisdom is possible when you attain this Brahma Vidya. And life becomes a breeze after that, really. Because you are not responsible for anything. Anything good happens, God's will, God's grace. Anything goes wrong also, God's will. You do not engage, therefore you do not have any attachment with anything. Physically you are engaged, but deep down you are totally detached. There is a story of a rishi who was to cross a river which was in full spate. And then he told his wife, who had borne him 100 children, that I will pray to the river, that, O river, if I am a brahmachari, Purna brahmachari, you must part and give me way to go to the other side. And wife laughed within herself. 100 sons I have given to this man, and he says he is a Purna brahmachari, and the river must part. And the river parted. River gave way for him to walk. And then the wife was shocked. How could you say this? How could you do that? He said, what was to be done by the body, it has done its duty as a father, as a husband. Deep down, I am Atman. I am untouched by any of the activities. Therefore, I am within brahmachari only. See, this kind of people lived in this country. Their standards of spirituality were somewhere. Janaka Maharaj is the most recent example quoted in most of the texts. In Ashtavakra Gita, beautiful text. It is very simple yet very deep. At the same time, if you are not spiritually mature, there is a great possibility that you will misunderstand than actually understanding. Shipta samskaravatena. Whenever my warden pushes me out of the room, I will go out of the room. Otherwise, I will sit on my bed. Why? Shipta samskaravatena. Shushka pardavat, I shall sit. All wrong understanding. A lot of people have read Ashtavakra Gita and understood it all wrong. Suddenly thought, what is the point in dealing with this world? Everything is Maya, everything is illusion. I am wasting my time. They'll keep sitting and waste more time. They don't do any good to anybody. That's why I do not ask for children to read scriptures which is beyond their spiritual maturity. Like university textbooks will not be given to a schoolboy. Why? He can't understand the concepts. He will misunderstand. That's worse. But Ashtavakra Gita is like that. It's a beautiful text. And these are all ideas from our scriptures. Brahma Jnana is possible, first of all. Second, it's possible to even engage in the world after being a Brahma Jnani, but with better attitude. What is the attitude? Pravruttava, nivruttava, naiva dhirasya durgraha. It's not difficult for you to engage or withdraw. That is how you can live in this world. As if floating like a dry leaf under the divine will. Not by your own ideas. And you're in perfect control over everything. This is Brahma Vidya, best of the Brahma Vidyas as per our scriptures. Lot of Brahma Vidyas are there. I'm sure they're there. They're engaged in different ways. But the best amongst those are those who know the truth within, yet they're super busy working for the welfare of all. And that is the kind of Brahma Vidyas and Brahma Jnanis that I am interested in. I do not want our children to sit in one corner, meditate. If somebody comes that way, avoid them, don't even smile, and behave like lunatics. No. Our Brahma Vidyas should be those who are completely confirmed in that truth within, established and stationed in that consciousness inside, yet super active outside to do what needs to be done. They are real Brahma Jnanis. So check on these qualities. Are you having perfect control on your senses? Your eyes want to see something, but you have the control to turn it away from that object of distraction. Your ears want to hear some unnecessary things, but you have the ability to not hear. You want to taste or touch or smell something which is not necessary, which is not good. Do you have the perfect control to withdraw? These are simple tests you should put. Somebody was asking me, what is the best way to do this? I said, try little, and if you think you are getting sucked into it, run away from there immediately. It means you are not mature enough. See, if you want to go to swimming, you have to learn how to swim, only then you can get into deep sea. For that, some shallow water swimming is required in the beginning. Like that, our institution gives you only restricted engagements. Does not allow you to just get into the deep sea all of a sudden. You will definitely drown. It allows you to have little pleasures which are permitted, which are spiritual. And there also you can keep testing. When your friend is coming and gossiping about something, immediately cut him off. When somebody is talking unnecessary, don't engage in that conversation at all. When something is unnecessary to eat, do not eat. Don't get tempted. Oh, another dosa is available, nobody is watching. Finish. You should have the control over your senses. So this is how you can practice these virtues in this place. And you can also attain that Brahma Jnana, because Brahma Jnana is birthright of everybody. Nobody can tell you that you don't deserve to be a Brahma Jnani because you are born like this, you don't have this. Yes, at this point of time you may not be capable of it. But definitely at some point in time. And beautifully, our Bhagavad Gita assures us, Kalena Atmani Vindati, with time everybody will attain God. Tat Swayam Yoga Sansiddha. But when he is attained this yoga means not some exercises, that is physical yoga. The mental yoga is to keep your mind always focused on that consciousness. The one who attains that samsiddhi of mentally focusing on the consciousness, identifying yourself with the consciousness, such a person sooner or later will attain that divinity, will attain Brahma Vidya, Brahma Jnana. That is the assurance of our scriptures. And what more assurance Krishna gives? He says, Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even a little of this, if you learn, it will help you in a great way. It will alleviate a lot of your fears, unnecessary fears. How many fears we have? And biggest fear is you're going to die. But this tells you don't die at all. Because your consciousness, which is always there. When matter disappears, energy disappears, whatever energy has nothing to do, even then consciousness exists. And you are that sea of consciousness, the ocean of consciousness. You are a wave in that. And that will never die. That is a huge assurance. Then your fear of death disappears. What an assurance. He says, again, nahi kalyana krit kashchit durgatim tata gacchati. If you do some good in this spiritual path, you will never meet a bad fate. You will never meet with a bad result end. Bhagavatam says, Narada's mother, when Narada was in womb, she would be serving in the Yagnishalas like this. She was only a sweeper. Narada was not born Brahma Rishi. But because mother used to hear these mantras, the baby used to hear these mantras, and because of that Narada became Brahma Jnani, they say. So that kind of effect these festivities, these mantras have. Let us not take it lightly. Mahapurusha Samshaya does not happen to everybody. So many people are searching for their gurus, they don't get a guru. You have to be accepted. And our Upanishad says, don't teach all this. Na Vedante paramam guhyam, purakale prachoditam, na putraya datavyam, na ashishaya vapunaha. Do not give it to others who do not belong to you, like either your children or your shishyas or aprashanta, who do not have peace of mind. Do not teach this to them. Yet I am teaching this, because I consider all of you as my own. So in a way you are my children. So you are deserving of this. Oh, this is additional bonus. Even if you don't think like that, I think like this, so you are getting this Vidya. So think like this, that it is such a blessing. There is no, I cannot describe it in words. How many blessings are there upon you all. Whether you asked for it, did not ask for it, whether you deserve it, don't deserve it, you still have got it somehow. And please be mindful of this blessing and put efforts in this spiritual path, because unless you put efforts, you will not grow. Guru's grace will be there, but he can only do so much. Sun can shine, but if you shut all the windows and doors, no light will enter the house. You have to at least open the windows to let the sunlight come in. Anyway, sun is burning to give the light. That is not even the effort from your side. But to enjoy that light, open the windows and doors. Open your mind to this idea of spirituality, to the idea of mukshutva. I must know the truth. I must establish myself in that highest consciousness and behave from that point of view, so that every thought, word and deed of mine will be divinely inspired. And that way, everything will go right in your life. It is the most practical thing to do. Spirituality is the most practical knowledge. All other knowledge may change with time. Earth was flat a couple of centuries ago. Today it is round. I hope it remains like that. But things have changed. Science has changed its theories. So many things have changed. Computers have come into picture. Nobody writes anymore. Smartphones have come into picture. Nobody dials anymore. Cameras don't have reels now. They have only digital photos. So many things have changed. So those knowledge, that side of knowledge will always change. That is ephemeral. But this knowledge of establishing yourself in that permanent consciousness, and from that point of view seeing the world as one, behaving accordingly, is a knowledge that will stay with you forever. It will be helpful for you not only here, even in next birth. Naiveha na mutra. Not, he says, Krishna says, in this world or beyond, wherever you are, you will never lose this effort that you have put. So please put effort, that's what I am saying. Today's discourse is about the possibility of attaining Brahma Vidya, that being the most practical way of living our lives, and everybody deserves, everybody has the right over it, provided you don't deny yourself by not being attentive, by not being industrious on the spiritual path.